Attitudes lead to our behavior. Attitudes, we should know what attitudes is. Hopefully you have a positive mental attitude. Attitudes, opinions, and beliefs about people, objects, and ideas. A great quote here from Winston Churchill: attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. And I highly recommend you have a positive mental attitude. It will go a long way. And if you don't have a positive mental attitude, you want to learn how to have that, take my positive psychology class. And if you do have a positive attitude and you like positivity stuff, take my positive psychology class. Psych 200. Attitudes predict your behavior when your attitudes are strong. So if you have a strong attitude, mindset about something, then we know that you will act in a certain way. Okay, if your attitude towards recycling is very strong, you feel that people should recycle because it is beneficial to our community, to our earth, and it's going to help future generations, then when you have a can of something or a bottle of something, you're not just going to throw it in a trash can, you will recycle it. Okay? Attitudes predict behavior when we show awareness of attitudes and practice them. Okay? When we become aware, maybe you might be giving a talk on recycling. So then you're aware of the benefits of the recycling, and then of course you go out and you practice that. And then if we have vested interest, so if with recycling, you have kids, you're going to have kids someday, you want them to live on a planet that is not full of trash and pollution and stuff. So you will recycle to make sure that they live in a healthy environment. And then there's all different types of attitudes of this stuff. I just went with recycling because it was on the top of my head. More with the behaviors and attitudes, slide 13. The cognitive dissonance theory. This is discomfort caused by inconsistent thoughts. Discomfort caused by inconsistent thoughts. Now, this discomfort can be reduced by changing your behavior to fit your attitude, or changing your attitude to fit the behavior. Okay? So, give an example. Let's stay with the recycling. If your attitude is that we should recycle, etc., all that stuff, and in the beginning, you see other people, or you see other people not recycling, so you don't do it, but then you're like, well, this mindset is we should recycle because it's important, so then you change your behavior to fit your attitude so you feel comfortable. If, on the other hand, going with the other thing, that your behavior is such that, let's think here, change your attitude to fit your behavior. So if you're behaving in a certain way, let's say you're acting like a punk, and this does not have anything to do with recycling, but you're acting like a punk, and in the past you think, well, people shouldn't be be a jerk to other people. They shouldn't make fun of other people. They shouldn't, especially when you're in high school and stuff, knocking books out of people's hands and all that kind of stuff. If your mindset is that you shouldn't do that, but you're around other people and they're doing it and you want to fit in, so you fit that behavior, so you start making fun of other people, knocking books out of people's hands. Well, to make it feel more comfortable to you, you're going to change your mindset about that, where like, it's not so bad. Yeah, it doesn't hurt anybody. It's just a little fun. So you change your mindset to fit your behavior. This will keep you from having that stress inside, from having that conflict. And then you see here the effort justification, rationalizing the amount of effort put into something, again, to make sure that you feel comfortable and you don't have that conflict inside of you. Self-perception theory. These are inferences about attitudes of perceiving behavior. So basically, your perceptions of your behavior, why you behave a certain way. If you sit back and analyze it, not a lot of people do sit back and analyze their behavior, but if you do, sit back and think about why you act in a certain way. That's what this is all about, the self-perception theory. All right, example of this, the cognitive dissonance theory and self-perception theory. Those are the theorists. Up top, the nature of the theory, cognitive dissonance. We are motivated toward consistency between attitude and behavior and away from inconsistency. Example, I hate my job. I need to develop a better attitude toward it or else quit. The self-perception theory, we make inferences about our attitudes by perceiving and examining our behavior and the context in which it occurs, which might involve inducements to behave in certain ways. So here the thought is, I am spending all of my time thinking about how much I hate my job. I really must not like it. So you see this where people complain all the time about work, and I've seen it in different fields that I've worked in. And if they sat back and thought, they really probably don't like their job. So I highly recommend at that point, find something you do like instead of complaining all the time. Persuasion. We should know that. Trying to change someone's attitude, trying to persuade someone to change their mindset. Again, dealing with politics. Politicians are trying to persuade you to follow them, to endorse them, to vote for them. It happens in schools when people are running for certain offices. Election process, trying to persuade them. People try to persuade them to like each other. Businesses try to persuade you to buy their product, right? Commercials. That's what that's all about. They're trying to persuade you. So we have these four elements in persuasion. You have the communicator, who is the source of this information, this candidate, this person, this company. The medium is the method in which they get the message out, okay, whether it's through television, through commercials, through speeches, through online advertising, through magazines, that type of stuff. The target is the audience, you, who they're trying to persuade, and then there's the message, what they're trying to communicate to you. All right, so you should understand that if you get an example and you need to identify who is the communicator, what is the medium, what is the target, who is the target, and what is the message. Elaboration likelihood model says that the central route, engaging someone with sound logical argument. All right, so if you are having a discussion with someone and you're trying to persuade them going face to face with a sound logical argument, that is taking the central route of persuasion. The peripheral route, thinking about peripheral, central and peripheral. Central is right in the middle of the heart, the guts. Peripheral is around the outside edges, right? This involves non-message factors. You're not particularly doing a sound logical argument. You're doing some things around the edges there. This is effective when people are not paying attention to the communicator because, and this happens a lot with television commercials. They know that you're not paying 100% attention when you're watching commercials. When TV's on and commercials come on, they know that's time when you typically will talk to someone else, go on your phone, do all kinds of things, whether play games or texting, tweeting, all that kind of stuff. The message that they're giving you is not as poignant and direct as if they were talking to you one-on-one. And the idea is for them to get the information to you peripherally, but they pound this information to us over and over and over again. So eventually we do get the message. Okay. Inoculation, think about inoculation with regard to an illness. You know, you want to get a flu shot. You know, flu season comes around in the fall every year, and they say you should get a flu shot. And what they are doing is they are inoculating you. They're actually putting a very small, minute strand of the flu in your body so that your body can build up a defense mechanism against it. So when the flu is around you, that your body has already built up this defense mechanism and you will not get the flu. That's the hope. Well, it's the same thing with other things besides medicine. This is the resistance to persuasion accomplished by giving a weak version on persuasive message and allowing time to argue against it. So you inoculate people instead of coming at them with a big, like if there's a big thing that you want to have changed or persuade someone to change their mindset and all that kind of stuff. Instead of going for the home run, basically you're going for these little messages. You're inoculating them with little things, trying to give them little bits and pieces of information to get them so that eventually your point can get across. Altruism. Very good thing. Pro-social behavior. This is something that everybody should participate in. This is an unselfish interest in helping another person. Basically, an altruistic act is when you do something for someone else without the expectation of anything in return. Okay? That is an altruistic act. Now, when you do altruistic acts, you're helping someone else and you're making them feel good. The end result, whether you want anything in return or not, the end result is you typically feel good too by helping someone. So, do you get anything in return for an altruistic act? You get kind feelings, good feelings inside. Okay? But an altruistic act is not where you're doing something with the expectation of something in return. Now, we move down. Egoism is giving to another to ensure reciprocity. Okay, to ensure reciprocity, to gain self-esteem, or to present oneself in a particular way, or to avoid social censure. So you're doing this with something that you want to get in return. Maybe you're doing like to ensure reciprocity. Well, I'll do this for them now, so later on when I need a favor, they'll owe me one, right? To gain I'm not going to go through every one. It helps improve your self-esteem there. To present yourself in a particular way, it's like, well, maybe I want to impress this other person. So you do something kind around them, either for them or around something else, but because you want to impress them. Okay, that's egoism, doing it for selfish reasons. That is not altruism. Reciprocity, acting kindly towards others because they might do the same for us someday. Okay, that is kind of like that first example of egoism, but reciprocity, acting kindly because they might do something for us someday. Well, I'll do something nice to them because, someday they might be able to pay me back. Emotions. Happy people are more likely to help. So the question is, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? What comes first, the positive emotions or helping people out? Helping people, as you see there, may improve mood. Well, guess what? You can 99% sure positive, you can take out that word may. Helping people does improve your mood. Okay? I teach that in the whole positive psychology class. But are you happy first and then help people out, or do you help people out and that leads to happiness? Well, it's a catch-22. One, it doesn't matter. Just help people out. It will help your emotions positively. Empathy, we should know what empathy is. Feeling of oneness with the emotional state of another, where you can actually put yourself in their shoes and understand what they're feeling. Okay? It's different than sympathy. With sympathy, you're feeling sorry for someone. Oh my gosh, I feel bad for you, blah, blah, blah. Empathy is where you're actually able to put yourself in that same emotional state and understand what they're going through. Altruism, gender, women typically help in nurturing situations. Men more so when there is some kind of danger component. The bystander effect. If you read the Kitty Genovese case, you'll know what this is. This is the tendency for observer of emergency to help less when others are present. So if there's a situation and there's a bunch of people around, it's like, I'm not going to help. Somebody else will do it. Why does this happen? Well, the fusion of responsibility and tendency to look to behavior of others for cues. If someone else helps, maybe I'll go in and help. If there's only one person around, you're more than likely to help this person because of the situation. You take on the responsibility. If there's other people around, you tend to be like, somebody else will help out. That is the bystander effect. Understand that. Media influences. The exposure of pro-social media may be an important way to spread kindness. So if you see videos, you've probably seen them on social media, of all these videos of people doing kind acts, kind deeds, things like that. I'm going to show you real quick. I'm not going to show you the whole video, but I highly recommend you checking it out. Let me see, pop this up here. Life vest video. Check this out here, life vest video, life vest inside kindness boomerang. Oops. So here, this is all acting, by the way, and poor acting at that. Kid falls down off the skateboard. Guy helps him out. The kid goes on and helps this older lady out. Older lady goes and helps this person out. Goes all the way around and keep helping other people out. Oops. Ends up with waitress giving a bottle of water, or a glass of water, to the guy who helped the kid in the skateboard out in the first place. It's a boomerang effect. That's why it's called kindness boomerang. Highly recommend you checking out that video.